Welcome to the Political American Podcast. Today is Wednesday, December 13th, and 2017. And today we're going to talk about the fallout of Roy Moore specifically. I've been trying to make a podcast based off of this whole election for the Alabama seat, and mainly because there's I listen to a lot of different podcasts, and specifically one particular podcast, the Ben Shapiro show. Really, I don't know. He really pissed me off with his just crappy logic, pretty much. So that's why I have obviously Ben Shapiro right here. So we're gonna listen to his little fallout speech about Roy Moore and what happened, and basically what I've been saying from the get-go during this whole thing is that all the allegations levied against him, I got a thing up for the timeline. All the allegations have been either false or haven't had any credible evidence. So, if you had credible evidence, you would be able to have a court case. A court case against this guy. You would be able to do something. And the simple fact that the biggest thing that is against this dude is that people are saying this yearbook, this yearbook, what he said in this yearbook, blah blah blah, alludes to him possibly being a child molester, whatnot. And it later came out that the story changed, and she had written some stuff in there and changed some stuff around, so that pretty much lends that now she changes her mind and some stuff has changed, or she forgot to add it, and she didn't think about it before she went in there, or before she came out and started talking about it, and she didn't have her story set and her story straight. But now that there's inconsistencies, pretty much and the thing that pisses me off is Ben Shapiro has a degree in law. He has a degree in law. And this motherfucker wants to be ignorant. He really wants to be ignorant. And I'm putting most of the blame on him and a lot of conservatives that can't get their head out of their ass. And Ben Shapiro is one of them. I could give a fuck. He could suck a dick. I'm pissed off at him. I agree with a lot of stuff that he says, but he just pisses me off. And so Roy Moore, like it's allegations. It's basically slander. There's no proof. There's just people saying stuff, and there's no actual. You can't go to court with this, so it's slander. It's basically slander. It's slanderous statements against someone, and people like this guy have been calling for pretty much 3 weeks. It seems like have been calling for him to step down, or people to do write-in candidates. And because of all the conservatives that can't look down the fucking, look towards the future, because of all these people, now Doug Jones is a senator in a heavily red state. Good job, guys. Good job. Because having Senate seats and keeping control of the Senate just wasn't on your mind. Just wasn't on your mind. Oh, some fucking Joe Schmo, some Yahoo out here in fucking rural Alabama fucking said that the dude touched her. Oh, might as well just fuck him off. You know. Oh, screw that. You know. Anyone makes some baseless accusations because you know the Democrats are going to do this. The Democrats are going to make up false shit. If you want to be the party of morals, how about look into them? Don't just automatically take people's word as gospel. It's ridiculous. If some woman, it doesn't matter if it's a dude or a woman, regardless, if some person comes out and says that guy touched me fucking what, 30 years ago, that guy touched me inappropriately, and there's no pictures, there's no nothing. See, that's the big difference between Moore and Franken. Franken has a fucking picture. There's a fucking picture. Moron. Let me look this way. Hey, you fucking schmuck. There's a picture, an actual fucking picture with Franken, but there ain't shit about Moore. But he can't seem to get that through his head. And he's a fucking lawyer. That's what pisses me off. He should know the difference between evidence and conjecture. But whatever. The dude's like 2 years younger than me. He should figure this fucking out. And the fact that I have known it for weeks, just, I don't know. That's what else pisses me off. So the fact that you've had Democrats, just, they have no values. They will do anything to bring out people. They will search for people. They will do anything to discredit and devalue Republicans. And Republicans don't do that. Republicans don't do that to Democrats. Yeah, they might talk shit. They both talk shit. But Democrats actually go the extra mile and find people that you grew up with, that you went to school with, that fucking dude that made coffee for you one time. You know, it doesn't matter. They will find someone that knows you and that could talk shit. Or you took a picture, maybe. You took a picture and the guy in the background, that guy third on the left, yeah, that guy said you touched his wee wee, you know. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? It's like, it's old. It's old by now. It's an old tactic. And the fact that this guy, who's been in politics for years, couldn't figure it out. He can't obviously use his fucking brain and figure it the fuck out. He's too, what he is, and what also pisses me off about Republicans, is he's too wrapped up in his holy shit. He's too fucking wrapped up in his holy shit to get his head out of his ass, think with his brain, and start actually looking at what's going on. There is no credible evidence. None. I don't care what the fuck he says. There is no fucking credible evidence. You just have words. Anybody can make up a story. That shit does not hold up in court. You need tangible evidence. Franken has tangible evidence. There is a picture. He has been in videos. He's been in stuff. He's worked with people. There is evidence. Actual evidence. And there is more evidence about liberals and Democrats being just complete vile pieces of shit that why would you even believe them? How are you even going to believe them when someone comes out, you know, basically in the Doug Jones camp to, we just had what, months of what's that guy's name? Oh jeez. Wiseman? I forget his name. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. I'll have to come back to that. The guy that has Miramax. That guy and a bunch of other people. There was Kevin Spacey. There's been, I think, something with Ben Affleck and a couple other people. Anyways, it's rampant in Hollywood right now. A bunch of people coming out about just that it's basically a den of sexual assault and deviancy in Hollywood. And this guy lives basically in Hollywood. And he wants to talk about moral outrage. You can hate him. You can hate Roy Moore morally. That's fine. That's fine. But to go out of your way and tell people for weeks to do a write-in candidate not to vote for Moore when it's gonna fuck up, and this is what I've been saying forever. It's gonna fuck up the Senate distribution. It's gonna give Democrats an edge, and then nothing's gonna get passed. And then we're paying people in Washington D.C. and they're basically just going to bicker amongst each other because nothing can get passed because we got a Republican president and a confused Congress, and nothing's going to get passed. Nothing's going to get done. And everyone's going to be wondering what the fuck. And it's like, well, everybody's been pissed off at Democrats fucking shit up, costing us basically, they don't care about the working man. And then here comes a Republican. Yeah, I don't like Trump, but he said a lot of good things, and he's actually been doing a lot of good things. He's actually been working towards that. He's been doing a lot of libertarianish quite stuff that I actually liked. I don't agree with him all the way. I personally wouldn't. I didn't vote for him, so that's fine. But he's done a lot better so far than Obama, I do believe, and that should say something for you Democrats. And Trump is not really a morally right person, and I will agree with that. But I don't care about morals. This guy isn't getting fucking elected to the Pope. He's getting elected to look at bills and measures and stuff like that. And a lot of that, it really shouldn't be a moral issue in politics. It should be if it's constitutional or not. That's really what it should be. And then next, it should be if it's how much it's going to cost the taxpayer and what it's going to do to the taxpayer. That should be the priorities of a congressman. Period. The end. Period. The end. So let's listen to this stupid opening by this fucking dipshit.
All right, well, we have the full Alabama Senate race breakdown. Roy Moore loses in a shocking upset. Ruby red Alabama turns blue for Doug Jones, and we'll explain just why and whom ought to be blamed. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show.
Dipshit! And we'll go past his little, ad.
Typical or anything. He shows up on horseback to vote. Even Laura Ingraham, who's been backing Moore in this race so far as I can tell, for the 14-year-old, just will not show up for you. Now, the line...
Sorry, had to get past that as well. So now this is a little bit of what he says about how it's really Roy Moore's fault for not backing down and stuff like that. He's running. And you had a month before the election. The dude's been running for a while, a month before the election, and you want to switch candidates. Any of Ben Shapiro's ideas, any and all of his ideas, for possibly not having Doug Jones win and also not having Roy Moore in, it like basically making sure a Republican would switch with Moore. Any single idea that this motherfucker came up with was pretty much Democrat wins. Democrat wins. You do a write-in candidate, Democrat wins. If Roy Moore would have left and someone else came in, Democrat wins. Because you don't have enough time to do a campaign. Every fucking single time, Democrat wins. And this motherfucker just didn't care. He didn't care. And it's a chess game. That's what I didn't finish on. It's a chess game. They think ahead. Democrats have been thinking ahead. Republicans are in the moment. Democrats have been thinking ahead. That's why. Do you think they just fucking found some Joe Smo on the fucking street and oh yeah, that guy touched me. Yeah, we can make that up. No. As soon as Roy Moore was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna run for Senate. That's when fucking one Democrat dude was like, what? And he went to another Democrat dude, and then they started a fucking plan, and then they went off, and they found people. And as soon as it was like, okay, it's getting close, and bam! We're going to drop the hammer right now. Right now, when they can't find anybody, when they can't recover, when they can't do shit, they can't do nothing, and we're going to put this plan in action, and guess what? Guess what, Mr. fucking moron? Guess what? The Democrats outsmarted you. They outsmarted you. It's people like this guy that Democrats basically outsmarted. They came in at the last fucking second when you couldn't do shit. When no fucking opportunity would have given Republicans a chance of winning. And they came in, they executed their plan, and then basically all these conservatives was like, oh my god, he's a fucking pedophile. Oh! And then they went off, and then all the constituents that would have voted for Roy Moore were like, oh, well, I don't know now. Maybe I'll just stay home, or I won't vote, or I'll write in a candidate. And then, boom, he loses. He lost by like 5 fucking, like not even that, like 2 points if you consider no write-in candidates. 2 points. If people would have got the fuck out and voted for this dude, he would have won. But because of all these conservative candidates that can't simply say, because they don't have the balls, simply say, just stick with him, we'll replace him, just stick with him. We'll replace him, just, suck it up. We need the majority to get shit done. But no, he wouldn't do that. So this is what the lesson is this is what this dumbass says.
Line for what you'll vote for gets raised by the impact of the election. So let's put it this way. If this has been a dog catcher election, no one shows up to vote for Roy Moore. It's a Senate election, so 600 lost by 20,000 votes.
Let me go back a little bit. Let me go.
Okay, and then it got worse for Roy Moore. Here's the first lesson to be learned from what happened in Alabama last night, where Roy Moore narrowly lost to Doug Jones. I mean, lost by 20,000 votes out of 1.2 million votes cast, something like that. The first lesson we learned is there is a line for voters. There's a point where voters just will not show up for you. Now, the line for what you'll vote for gets raised by the impact of the election. So let's put it this way. If this has been a dog catcher election, no one shows up to vote for Roy Moore. It's a Senate election, so 600,000 people show up to vote for Roy Moore. If it's a presidential election, then you can be Donald Trump and you can win, because the stakes are so high at that point that people are going to show up regardless because they feel like they must show up out of necessity. But for a Senate election, even for a presidential election, there's a line beyond which Americans are not.
It was still essential. It was still do you understand? It's not one dude. It's not one dude in a fucking state. It's one guy that's a part of a group called the fucking Republicans in Congress. It's one guy voting with a group of people. You start picking away at that group, suddenly that group doesn't have power, and you're giving it to the other group, and then you're basically just fucked. And then the Democrats are going to do what Republicans did during Obama, which was obstruct. And they couldn't do it when Republicans had the majority, but when you don't have the majority, now they can obstruct. Good job, Shapiro!
Not willing to go. Roy Moore crossed that line. It really is that simple. He was an unpalatable candidate from the beginning. Before there were any of these allegations about the sexual molestation of underage women, before there were any of those allegations that had even broken, it was known that Roy Moore was not a popular candidate in the state of Alabama. He'd already lost, I believe, the Senate primary to somebody. He'd been tossed out of the Supreme Court twice. He had been running a narrow race with Doug Jones before all of those revelations broke. And every 2 days, he would say something utterly insipid, or there would be a clip of him coming out from 4 or 5 years ago in which he said something utterly insipid. Yesterday, his spokespeople did not do him any favors. In their final pitch, they were making comments like this. Here is one of Roy Moore's spokespeople asked whether he thinks homosexuality should be illegal.
Does he think that homosexual conduct should be illegal?
But
it's a
yes or no
question.
Probably.
He probably.
That's also
would
the
punishment be?
The holy stuff. That's what I'm saying. That's also the holy stuff.
Relations with another woman.
That's your Jesus shit getting in the way.
It's just a sin. Okay.
Okay. So again, I agree. By the way, as a biblical.
Do you see like this guy's face? Oh my god. It's just a sin. Okay? Like is this guy, does this guy live next to like Ron White? Like let me back this up. This is fucking great.
It's just a sin. Okay.
Okay. So again, I agree. By the way, as a biblical Jew, I believe that homosexual conduct is a sin. I also believe breaking Sabbath is a sin. I don't think the government should be involved in enforcing either of those things. That was not the moment that everybody was going nuts about yesterday in the lead up to this election. Here was Roy Moore's spokesperson who was talking about Roy Moore's position that Muslims should not sit in Congress or be able to hold elected office. This was a stunning piece of video. I mean, just like if this was the best that Alabama had to offer on the Republican side, it's no wonder that Roy Moore is not sitting in the Senate.
Judge Moore has also said that he doesn't think a Muslim member of Congress should be allowed to be in Congress. Why? Under what?
Doesn't matter.
You have to swear on the Bible. When you are before.
No,
I
you
had
don't.
to do it. I'm an elected official, 3 terms.
No,
I had
you
to
don't.
swear on a Bible. You have to swear on a Bible to be an elected official in the United States of America. He alleges that a Muslim cannot do that ethically, swearing on the Bible.
You don't actually have to swear on a Christian Bible. You can swear on anything, really. I don't know if you knew that. You can swear on a Jewish Bible.
Oh, no, I swore on the Bible. I've done it.
Actually, what you guys should be swearing on is the fucking Constitution. Okay, there's nothing in the Constitution that, I don't care if you're a Jew, or if you're a fucking Christian, or if you're fucking Muslim. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh. I don't care. I don't care. As long as you are upholding the Constitution, which is also against Christianity to some sense. Well, actually, and it's pretty much against the Torah as well, because, human rights and shit, and, you know, women being free and all that stuff. But anyways, that's a separate video. But they should be swearing on the Constitution. Fuck the Bible, Constitution.
3 times.
I'm sure
Jay.
you have. I'm sure you've picked a Bible, but the law is not that you have to swear on a Christian Bible. That is not the law. You don't know that? All right, Ted Crockett.
I don't know. I know that Donald Trump did it when we made him president.
Because he's Christian and he picked it. That's what he wanted to swear in on. Campaign. Good luck tonight. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, not a good look for your closing argument. I don't know why you have slim pickings as your.
I mean, the whole Roy Moore and a couple other issues with this guy, with Ben Shapiro, really wants me to punch. It really gets me, like, I really feel like punching this guy sometimes. But that's how arguments are, you know. I know I've said this guy could suck a dick. Yeah, in this, because I'm pissed. In this incident, I think Ben Shapiro is completely wrong. I just wanted to elaborate on why I'm pissed at him. But there is a lot of times where I do agree with Ben Shapiro. I just want to make sure people know that. I do agree with him with a lot of stuff. I do agree with him on, I mean, I started watching him with all these liberal SJW, there's 27 genders bullshit. So, I started watching him with that, and yeah, I was completely agreeing with him with all this stuff. And, you know, I mean, with anybody, I never 100% agree with anybody, really. I can find, I've listened to Alex Jones, even though a lot of his stuff is hilarious, and I laugh at him because he sounds completely wacko. There is sometimes where he makes some valid points. Not as much as Ben Shapiro, obviously, but, and I can listen to Andrew Klavan. He makes some valid points, but there's also some times where I think he's fucking stupid. I'm pretty sure over time on this channel, some people will be like, "Hey, you know what? He actually made a valid point." And maybe depending on who you are, you're like, "I want to punch you more than I want to hug you," but that's fine. That's fine. I just have to present my opinion on shit, and I just think that personally, Ben Shapiro is wrong here. But it is this dude, this whatever, Roy Moore's spokesperson is fucking completely stupid. That shit's hilarious. Oh my god, fucking, I can't believe Ben Shapiro is just like not fucking busting up laughing at this dude right now. He just like, basically the reporter got him to where he's just like what?
Your actual campaign spokesperson. It just seems like a mistake to me.
Yeah.
But this is the first lesson is you can't just run anyone and hope to win. Okay, Roy Moore was a crappy candidate. The reason Roy Moore lost last night was not because of write-in votes. It's because
but you should have figured. They should have figured that out
on behalf of Doug Jones
more than fucking almost a month before the election.
Of all the votes that Hillary Clinton won in a presidential election, Doug Jones won last night in Alabama. 49% of the votes Donald Trump won in Alabama went to Roy Moore, meaning that a lot of Republicans stayed home because they just didn't like Roy Moore. They didn't like what he represented. They didn't like all the allegations about him, and they were not wrong to do so, okay? You present crappy candidates, and they're going to lose. It turns out that the quality of your candidate still matters, and railing against the wind, suggesting that it's the fault of people who stayed home rather than the fault of the candidate or the people who supported that candidate is just ridiculous, and it's tiring to me.
It's kind of also more your fault than people like you.
The nonsense
making videos
from
and
Steve Bannon and company.
Shows.
No, it's just that Roy Moore was stabbed in the back, and that's why he lost. Maybe Roy Moore lost because there were credible allegations that he was molesting underage
there
women,
wasn't credible, and he wasn't molesting.
Really
There's a thing between. Okay, let's stop real quick before this quick talking little smuck keeps going. Because for purposes of this video, I am mad at him. So first of all, in Alabama, at least at the time, there was a age of consent law, which I do believe was 16 or 17 or something like that. Doesn't matter if you're 33. It doesn't matter whatever. You can date, not fuck, date a underage woman. Okay, you can date, and that's what Roy Moore did. Date. He asked for permission from the parents to date, not have sex with. There was nothing about sex, okay? And anything like that, there is no credible allegation. It's all slander. You know what that means. But Ben Shapiro never once says slander. That's what's going on. And that's why I'm saying he's a fucking lawyer. He went to college for law. But he doesn't know the word fucking slander. Oh my God. So, for the simple fact of not the rest of the country, in Alabama, there is a fucking law that allows you to date an underage female. Actually, person, because it could be a male as well. But a person. Date. Alright? With permission from the parents. Which happened. Thank you. Fuck you. What I just did is called being a lawyer. And I don't even have a law degree. But yet I know what the fuck I'm talking about. More than this guy. Because I don't even understand how this is working. This is some weird shit right now. Okay, go.
Save his life on a statewide level before this, basically. The idea that this was all because there are a bunch of people who are just out to get Roy Moore is insane. You think I wanted to lose a seat in Alabama? You think anyone who's a Republican in Alabama wanted to lose that seat to Doug Jones? Are you kidding me? It's not about that. It's about
apparently you wanted to.
That earns people's votes. Roy Moore didn't earn people's votes. The laws of political gravity still apply. That's lesson number one. Lesson number two. Don't follow Steve Bannon down the primrose path like Steve Bannon knows what the hell he's talking about. I've never seen someone botch an election as badly as Steve Bannon over at Breitbart News just botched this sucker. And not just botched this. He's basically waving a frying pan around. All of us were saying, dude, don't wave that frying pan around. You're going to smack Trump in the face. Then he smacked Trump in the face with the frying pan. And then he goes, well, if you were just more pro-Trump, this never would have happened. It's like, well, maybe you shouldn't wave a frying pan around in the form of Roy Moore, you dunderhead. Roy Moore was being very heavily pushed by Bannon in the last days. Bannon was going to Alabama and saying things like Mitt Romney's family has less honor in all of its DNA than Roy Moore has in his little finger. He was going to Alabama and suggesting that elitists from the outside, Steve Bannon's from New York and from Goldman Sachs and Harvard Business School in LA, and he was showing up in Alabama wearing his homeless man coat, suggesting that he was the great avatar of the people who's going to speak now on behalf of the Republicans against the establishment. And Roy Moore was on Steve Bannon yesterday, his show on Breitbart News that no one listens to. He'll have more listenership to his Breitbart News radio show.
Stop real quick. Bam! Right here. Alabama, age of consent laws, 2017. Let me go right here and put this up right here for everyone to see. Just so that we can be crystal fucking clear. All right. The Alabama age of consent is 16 years old. 16 years old. The age of consent is the minimum age at which an individual is considered legally old enough to consent to participate in sexual activity. Fuck you! How do you like that? How do you like that? That's what that is. But it's a date. He said dating. He said he did date. Boom. Let me see here. What? That's something else. Let me actually look up. Roy Moore allegations. I think I had. Yeah, man, right there. There was something I had. Oh, there was a timeline right here. So let's look at. Let me get my facts straight before we keep going. Let me just make sure. I don't wanna. I don't wanna talk to you. Keep going. Yeah. Yeah, definitely fuck this bitch. It doesn't even matter. Okay, this chick right here. No. It doesn't even matter because she's out, and that's who they're mainly headlining is her. First of all, this bitch is her defendant, so bye. Secondly, she added shit, so therefore it could have been changed, and she told people later, so her story is inconsistent. So I'm sorry, but fuck you. That would be thrown out of any court. Doesn't matter. So let's see here. Each woman overlapping, blah 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 blah. 14, 14, 16, which is the age. Was it 16? Age of consent. 16, 17, 18. Fine, fine, fine. 16, fine. 18, fine. 28, fine. 14, 14. That's it. The two 14s. That's the only problem. And even if she was 24, boom. So where is... There it is. Beverly Young. She was 16. Alabama age of consent, 16. So that's not illegal, not illegal, not illegal, not illegal, not illegal. Okay, these two could possibly be illegal. And whatever this is Roy Moore, right? Oh, and that's his wife, I guess. Oh, they were married. Bam, right there. Okay, derp. And at 44, he was appointed to the circuit court. He's 44 right now? He looks older. Oh, sorry. Maybe that's just her. And she's 28. Who's this? Tina Johnson? Okay. So that would be more of a credible thing, is what Tina Johnson said. Let's see. Okay, so Lee Kaufman. He later called her and asked her on a date. You have to get the parents' consent. Let's see here. Individuals age. Okay, so it doesn't even matter if it doesn't matter how old Roy Moore was or how old she is. If she was 14, which unless her parents corroborated this in some way, because pretty much she just alleges he tried to initiate sexual contact, that would be statutory rape. Wendy Miller, he talked to her, blah blah blah. 2 years later, oh, see, so Wendy Miller is not a. So there's basically one incident of possible statutory rape, which is probably just drummed up bullshit, since you only have one. At the Gadsden Mall at 14. 2 years later, she's now 16. He asked her on dates. Her mother prevented her from doing so, which is completely fine. but he asked her on dates. See, you can ask someone. It's still America. Sorry. Debbie Gibson. Alleged came blah blah blah. Talked to serving. Asked her out on a date. They dated for several months when she was 17. Okay, and still age of consent 16 in Alabama. So this one's gone. Fuck you. That's not a credible one. Wendy Miller, you can fuck off. That's not credible. Lee Kaufman, unless you got someone else to back up that he took you on a date, I don't see that as credible. But that's the closest thing so far. Gloria, yeah, that one. She was working at the age 18, asked her out. They dated off and on for several months. Okay? And where is the problem with this one? There is no problem with this one. So what if he was 32 and she was 18? Big fucking whoop-de-doo. So Gloria's gone. Beverly Young Nelson, the biggest one. She was 16, the age of consent, working at a restaurant called the Old Hickory during a deaf conference. Customer signed your yearbook. Okay, he was a regular customer. At one point, signed a yearbook, and one day he offered to ride home, and she says he assaulted her. One time when he was 30. So there's basically there's 2 assaults and a bunch of dating. And then Gina was working there at age 18. He introduced himself. He called the school, whatever. Really? So Gina Richardson alleged that she was working at the Gadsden Mall at the age of 18 when Moore introduced himself. He called her at school and interrupted her trigonometry class to ask her out. So that was it. That was it with that, huh? He asked her out. I'm pretty sure that's false. Because that just sounds like a bit of a stretch. What fucking teacher's gonna be like, hey, this old motherfucker wants to ask you out. Here you go. No, that's not gonna happen. So, basically you have Beverly and Lee. That's it. 2. Tina Johnson, born 1963. She told that she visited her often, blah, blah, blah. Where he said inappropriate comments, and as she was leaving, groped her. I'm pretty sure he probably was trying to help her leave and whatever. So you have 2 possible things, and he has denied Kaufman and Nelson. So he denied Nelson and Lee Kaufman. He denied the assaults. So basically what this guy is he's a dater of legally consenting women. So he has no credible allegations. Sorry. There's none. No credible allegations. You have 0 shit. You're a lawyer! You're a fucking lawyer! We just went through them all. Everything got pretty much knocked out. You are a lawyer, Ben Shapiro. How the fuck did you miss this? How did you drop the ball? You should have went through all these things. You never once, I don't think, talked about the age of consent. And you should have pressed this on. There was nothing that was considered. You had Franken grabbing a chick's tits on a picture. On a fucking picture. And you just said a little bit about him. You did a whole month about Roy Moore. fucked up his chances, and you fucked up Congress. Good job. Good job. Sorry. See, this is what I'm saying. It's an angry video.
Being played on mine than he will actually having his own show. Here is Roy Moore on Bannon's show yesterday.
Before I let you go, what was this campaign about? This campaign was about truth, about right, about what this nation was founded upon, what we must return to have the nation again be whole. And I think we've got to get away from this politics by party and go put principle over party.
Yeah, if there's somebody who puts principle above everything, I'm sure that it's Roy Moore, and I'm sure that if someone puts principle above everything, it's certainly Steve Bannon, who's the greatest charlatan, political charlatan, and con man and leech I've ever seen in my life. And the media have.
All right, I don't even know what the rest of this. I'll go through the rest of this and make another video. This is already too long. Excuse me. So he's, we can get into another thing about him and Steve Bannon. Sometimes these are a couple of the issues that I don't like about Ben Shapiro. He has utter disdain for Steve Bannon, yet he still talks about him and brings him on the show. Has video of him talking to other people, and it's just, frankly, it's disturbing how there is not really a lot of credible evidence about how Ben Shapiro seems to work a lot off of feeling and his Bible or the Torah a lot, because there is nothing that should suggest that he has such vitriol hate for Steve Bannon. The only reason why is because the incident with one of Trump's campaign managers or something like that, which we can get into in another video. But for now, that's pretty much it. There's really nothing more to say other than Ben Shapiro's wrong. He has been wrong for a month. I should have put out a video saying he's wrong earlier, so that maybe, but it wouldn't have helped, because I doubt enough conservatives would have even watched it. But there should have been more people. There should have been more people actually looking into it logically, and not with Christian eyes. So that's what's going on. I just went through all the things by the law, which he should have done, since Ben Shapiro is a fucking lawyer. I mean, I can check it up. I'm pretty sure he graduated from law school. Where is it? And yep, right there, lawyer. From Harvard Law School. Dude, Harvard! You graduated from Harvard, motherfucker, and I just schooled your ass. Oh my god. Oh my god. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter law-wise what your Torah says. It doesn't matter law-wise what your Bible says. It doesn't matter law-wise what fucking anything says. As long as it's constitutional and it's by the law, guess what? Roy Moore didn't do anything wrong. So, you have nothing. There is nothing. Nothing. I'm going to post this video as a rebuttal on his video. And, oh man. Hopefully you watch more. This has been the Political American Podcast. Watch. This is going to be available in audio and get rid of that. Audio and in video on YouTube if it doesn't get taken down. So we'll put it up on audio on Castbox, and I'll try and get it going around as much as I can. And I mean, the video's nothing spectacular yet, but I'm working on it. Audio is probably not as anywhere close to fantastic as well, but I'm working on it. So that's pretty much that. Let me see if. Oh, that will not go up. Okay. Oh yeah, that's what else is. You can contribute on Patreon. I think I have a Patreon, I'm pretty sure. If not, I'll make one. We do a value for value model. So if you liked anything, if you got any value out of this, if you liked it, if you want to donate or help out the podcast in any way, you can donate. PoliticalAmerican.info. And you can go there. I'm pretty sure I put up a donate button. I will double check that. This is, I think, episode number 3 or 4. But I will make more of these. I will try and make more of these. This was actually pretty easy. Not too bad. And it only took 51 minutes right now. So I'll try and not hiccup or burp anymore. But that's what happens when I talk a lot. I apparently suck in too much excess air. Alright, so this has been the Political American Podcast. Thank you for listening and watching, and have a good day.
Now get out there and whoop Obama's behind.